should now move to the next presentation, which will be in charge of Joao Ferreira. Joao, are you here? Because he wrote.
Yes, I'm here. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, great.
Oh, God.
Great. Okay, I'm going to introduce Joao. Very nice to see you. Joao is a psychologist, data scientist, and candidate in molecular and translational neuroscience at the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Coimbra. He's currently pursuing a PhD in health science at the same institution. He is affiliated with the Institute of Pharmacology and Experimental Therapeutics, the Coimbra Institute for Clinical and Biomedical Research, and the Center for Innovative Biomedicine and Biotechnology. His doctoral project, titled Shedding New Light on Mental Health, focuses on the operationalization of biomarkers, the study of well-being and social prescribing, and the improvement of mental health outcomes and quality of life in older adults. Joao has previously served as a contracted researcher at the University of Lisbon and has been elected ambassador of his current institution for 2 years. He is a Marie Skłodowska-Curie Research Grant Researcher, received the National Merit from the Portuguese Directorate General for Higher Education, and was the winner of the 2024 Portuguese Great Volunteering Trophy in the Revelation category, among several other national and international distinctions. Joao also serves as an instructor in the Harvard University project in biomedicine, molecular and cellular biology teaching program. So, Joao, we look forward to listening to your presentation.
Sorry, I was very late. I'm dangerously tired. I just wanted to give a thumbs up to Thomas Blanc for his presentation. I think it was amazing. I'm like a people person, and I found it amazing how, when we get a glance at the Cicero's letters, how human he is, and this might sound stupid. I'm saying Cicero is human, but with the evolution of time, like so much electricity, so much technology, so much everything, we tend to think that the humans also evolve with all the technology, etc., etc. And even though all those letters happened like 2000 years ago, oh my God, they are just so human as us, They are just so similar to us. And even though we are 2000 years away from them, and with so much technology and so more evolved. So above all, we are animals, we are humans, and we are all the same, all in contact across the line of time, independently of technology, of stimuli, everything. I'm nervous. I don't know how to work with Teams, so I might have to share the screen. Yes, I would like to thank Professor Marius and Professor Josefa for the opportunity to present the crazy idea. I tried to build the presentation like easygoing. I don't want to get you bored. So let's see if I don't do any mistake. So let's quickly talk about the theory of boredom as a sign of existential disconnection, a path towards reconnection and meaning. So maybe let's begin with a simple question, but a profound question. So, have you ever felt bored? Sorry, the animations are not running. Okay, they are. Have you ever felt bored, not just idle, but profoundly disconnected from yourself, others, or the world? So that feeling is more common than we think. And yet, we rarely examine it closely. What I did like to offer you today is a new way of interpreting that experience. Like, boredom is not the problem. It's the symptom. It's a signal. It's a wake-up call. And like any meaningful signal, it deserves our attention. So I present to you my theory. The theory of boredom as a sign of existential disconnection, also called the theory of subjective anomie. So this theory it emerged from a deeply personal and also, like Cicero, profoundly human concern. Why do so many of us, always surrounded by so many stimulation, opportunities, why do we feel so empty? Always in search of answers. Firstly, I turned to philosophy, then to psychology, finally to phenomenology. So, Jean-Paul Sartre spoke of nausea, the existential void. Heidegger taught us that boredom arises when we lose connection with time and being. Nietzsche called for the creation of personal values, of course, to overcome alienation. Viktor Frankl, even in a concentration camp, he discovered the power of meaning. Together, they point to a shared idea. We become disconnected from meaning, from ourselves. When this happens, boredom arises, not as a distraction, but as a mirror. Regarding the contemporary context, like we live in a world of constant stimulation, social media, instant news, endless content. So we are busy, but not present, surrounded, but not connected. And in this saturation of noise, we begin to feel a quiet discomfort. And boredom starts to whisper to us, this is not enough. So, my theory states that deep boredom arises when we lose connection with our core values, our genuine relationships, our sense of purpose. I use the term subjective anomie, drawing from the sociological idea of anomie, but focused on the inner world. And this is not about social disorder. This is about internal disorientation. We know how to be productive, but not why we are doing any of it. We have structure, but we have no soul. Boredom becomes the signal of that disconnection. And in this light, boredom isn't something to suppress or escape. It's something to listen to pay attention to, because it might be telling us that perhaps we are meant for more. So this theory, I think it has clear practical applications. It can help differentiate existential boredom from depressive or anxious states. It opens new therapeutic pathways focused on meaning, on values, and authentic living. It offers a prevention model for mental distress rooted in reconnection rather than medication or distraction. And perhaps, I think this will be the major win, clinicians may shift the question from how do we stop the boredom to what is the boredom trying to teach? So, how do we respond to this kind of boredom? Not with more entertainment, not with more noise, but with slowness, with mindful presence, with silence, with reflection, with spiritual awareness. We turn to ancient practices found not only in Buddhism, but also in Christianity, Sufism, Judaism, Hinduism, each of which affirms presence is power. All through presence, boredom becomes a gateway to self, to meaning, to life. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, presence is power. Since 1940 in the DC Comics. So today I invite you to see boredom differently, not as failure, but as invitation. An invitation to live more truthfully, to reconnect with what matters, to discover your own reasons for being. Because perhaps boredom is not our enemy, is our most honest friend. Thank you. And these are the references, and here more that all the paper is based.
Thank you, Joao. And after all, thanks to your short presentation, we can be on time again, more or less. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions, Bignan?
Yeah. So thank you, first of all. Okay, you can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
All right, great. So thank you for a very interesting presentation. Of course, when you say there's an important connection between boredom and meaning, you right away sold it to me. So I really like this approach, and also I think that the recognition that for example in therapeutic or health well-being promoting settings, we need to acknowledge that boredom is telling us. I think that's a very helpful one. Very important. Also like the link a lot with the idea of depersonification or you use a different term, but so one thing I'm a bit more skeptical of, and I wonder what you think, is this concept of fighting existential boredom with slowness. And so first of all, I think this will work for a lot of people, and this will be very helpful, right? But and I'm kind of thinking of myself a little bit. I wonder if it's useful to broaden that sort of approach, because for many people, things like mindfulness or meditation or so will work, right? And we know that practicing these things will help them cope better with boredom. But there's also some recent research showing that boredom is actually, if you're easily bored, that's actually a hurdle for these practices. You're going to drop out. And I tried this myself, as slowness or meditation, things like that. And I'm one of these people that I just can't do it. I need excitement in some form. That doesn't need to be social media or something like that, but there are other things. So, for example, being part of group activity where you connect with others in pursuit of some general goal that may be very meaningful, maybe engaging. It's not slow. You might be really excited about it, or things like encouraging awe for things that are greater than us, like the universe, space exploration, science, these kind of things. They're not necessarily slow. And I wonder if there's room in your approach for a bit more of a personalized approach, that it's not quite that for everyone we need slowness, but rather that we need to be sensitive to the individual's needs and interests, and then attune our remedies for boredom to that. What do you think?
Van Tilburg, first of all, thank you very much for the question, and let me just tell you, you made my day. Thank you very much for thank you very much for all your reasoning. I think it's superb. Thank you for your endorsement. And yes, you also got me right away when you told about personalization. Personalization, it's one of the major things that make me think about the crazy idea. And all this is your question is contemplated in the full manuscript, because even though 2000 years ago Cicero is so similar to us, we are all different, similar but different, because we are an amalgamy of character, temperament, and personality, like the body of a tree. In the first node, character, temperament, personality. It's the cork on the outside of the body of the what we see. It's the personality, and yes, um, um, I think that each individual, because of his singularity, deserves a different approach. We have something in common. I think we are against over medicalization. So, first base, it's conquered. We are advocating for a non-medical approach. Second base, um, personalize the protocol for each specificity of the singularity of each individual. I think that we have a big, I want a synonym of a friend. I think a big ally. It's social prescription because it enables us maybe to target each specific of the singularity of the individual. Because imagine the way of evoking the presence, the mindful spirit, the attention to the moment, like not living in the past to be depressed, not living the future to be anxious, the way to get the individual to the present. It can be in different ways of meditation, of mindfulness. It doesn't have to be, it's actually a very abstract construct. It doesn't have to specifically be some kind of meditation, the traditional crossing the legs and Buddha posture. No, we can maybe target the protocol. For example, imagine that it's very different to have a 21-year-old board or a 80-year-old board. And for example, in that way, emerge social prescription. You can build the same protocol, but with social prescription, you can adapt it for the 21-year-old or to the 85-year-old patient. And I think it is the future to the personalization of the protocols. And thank you very much for the endorsement and for your engaging question, and thank you very much.
Okay, Marius, and then Johanne.
Okay, very, very shortly. Your presentation just reminds me or resemble a bit Heidegger's approach, but not from being and time, which you have in the bibliography, but from the fundamental concept of metaphysics. There is 100 pages about boredom, especially about profound boredom, yeah, and all your presentation, all your core ideas resembles those of Heidegger's. So maybe you should consult this book of Heidegger as well. Yeah, add to this, to the concept. Yeah,
okay,
this is just the suggestion.
Professor, can you state again the name, please?
The title.
Yes.
The Fundamental Concepts of Metaphysics.
Okay.
Yeah, by Heidegger. Yeah, because you have Being and Time by Heidegger, and this is one missing, I suppose, and this idea is quite similar, more or less.
Okay, I can give an overview of the references.
Yeah, this is just this. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, it's a strange.
This is our pleasure. Yeah, this is very high level of this session, I must say.
Yeah, it was shocking that you mentioned being and time, but not the fundamental concepts of metaphysics. Okay, Johanne.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. It was I really enjoyed it. People struggle with my accent. I am Scottish, so I must apologise.
It's a beautiful accent. Beautiful accent. I love it.
If I'm speaking too fast, let me know. I really aligned with a lot of the things that you were saying, like a lot of the things that you were saying. It mirrors a lot of the work that I do as well. But one of the questions that I'd like to ask was when you were speaking about us living in a world of excess and empty work, and you'd said that boredom is not about social disorder. And it just brought to mind like the idea of consumerism as ideology, that bringing about social disorder, existential boredom happening to more disadvantaged groups or people who are further away from these things. So I just wanted to ask what your thinking process was behind why you view it as not being social disorder?
Okay, amazing question. Thank you very much for the attention you took to the presentation. You delve deep into detail. Thank you very much. Thank you for all that engagement. I think it's above all on personal view, on my personal experience. I know it's we are talking about very abstract themes, etc. But my main my main inspiration was all my personal experiences, not only in the university, with my background in psychology and biomedicine, etc., but above all with my experience with the world. Because imagine, the university doesn't make a thinker, the university doesn't make a human. Above all, we are all humans, and we all have the school of life, and we learn at our rhythm, with our ways of learning. And because of that, because of my singularity, because of my way of interpreting the world, and all my social experiences, and the tissue, the social tissue where I am interconnected, I could not perspective it with that sense you had. It was purely instinctive. It's the best answer I can give you. It was purely instinctive. But João, thank you for your question, and I would like to have the opportunity to talk more with you and work with you, because I think that your multidisciplinary view and so enriching view of the social stratification, and how the less advantaged could suffer more with this pandemic. It was a really nice input that you gave me. I really like, if the opportunity arises, to talk more with you and maybe try to evolve that idea. And I really liked it. Amazing. Thank you very much. And beautiful accent. Nice.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I really liked your answer as well. Our subjectivities so inform our research, I think. Yeah. We need to talk more of it, I think.
Thank you very much. Amazing. Amazing energy.
Thank you. You can now just stop sharing your screen. And
you are sending me away.
I have many questions, but I'll keep all of them for the future, for another moment during the conference, maybe, or for a